Oh, no. Patented Skinner Burgers. Old family recipe.
Or steamed hams.
Yes.
And you call them steamed hams despite the fact that they are obviously grilled.
One thing I should... Excuse me a second.
Say now. Oh, what my big piece of that. Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis. Babialayalis. Alalabalagalas. Babi Badadadas. Ababa Hadapatakataka. Ababa Hadapatakataka. Hadapatakataka. Hadaka Hadaka. Habadaka. Hada Haba. Habakata. The Tiger Lunch Boom G3 Lunch Craft Services figure out it was in life no never says hey now say now let me pop my shit get a nada get the better get around the but that had the butt welcome. Okay, sorry. Just there's a lot of people here. Hi, welcome. So, in case you were wondering what came about of this, like, Kendrick Drake feud, it's like, latest shit on this was that, like, Drake was, like, suing, or maybe not suing Spotify. He put them on notice in some way, perhaps through legal procedures, that like proceedings. He claims that Spotify was like boosting the streams, like fucking the numbers, making up views. On Kendrick's diss track. And okay, what does this news article say? They respond, they fire back. Petition claims that unidentified individual reported on a podcast used bots to achieve 30 million streams on Spotify in the first days of the release of Not Like Us. Spotify found no evidence to substantiate this claim. Well, I mean, you know, there is the thing where like, if they say it's this many views, then they're the only ones who can verify that, right? So, I guess in general you might not be able to trust the numbers because they could always be different from what they report. Although that's ironic coming from Drake, who's like the most astroturfed motherfucker there is. Like, you ever met a single person who likes Drake? Well, I don't know. Maybe I have and just didn't realize it. Drake understands one number, 14. Yeah, it's like the Mr. Show sketch where there's like some mafia guys and they're all like, there ain't no number higher than 24. It's like that, but with Drake it's 14. In other news, Jimmy Carter died. I wasn't alive during Carter's administration, and I also don't know much about it. I guess him dying is what's prompting us to talk about it now. Wait, where's my playlist? I had like a whole playlist. I used my depression. Oh, here's me. Hi. All right, let me music on. Drake went from acting like a gangster on his diss tracks to acting like a total pussy. I mean, I heard that this started because he did a diss track and it pissed off Kendrick for like sneaking it in, like being coy. that does sound like some pussy ass bitch shit. You can't just like I think in a past life I was a bass guitar. Because whenever I hear a good bass line, it's just like beep, 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 beep. Like, it's kind of an annoying voice, but if it's the bass, it sounds fine. Look at this animation. Don't you love this? I love this animation that's like a little wonky, but it's experimental. It's mixed media. Yeah, like this like art style looks so different when like zoomed in there. But otherwise, I love this video. It looks kind of like early digital animation. This is like 98, so it's not really early. Well, I think the video might have been 98. I think Tupac was already dead by then. It's like early digital animation would have been like it would have been like 1988 or something. But yeah, this is like making anime references and shit. This is Millennium. It's like, if you think about the Simpsons episodes from then, they were starting to look different. Wait, so what year was Steamed Hams? That must have been 97 or 98. That was That was probably made around the same time as this, right? Well, because it was like the best episodes I thought were this era, this like Steamed Hams era, the Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein episodes. I thought those were probably the best, right? I think it was seasons 7 and 8 that they were like the showrunner. Okay, you know why I wanted to stream? It's because it was a stupid rant I wanted to do. I don't even know where it's going. I just want to get it started already. Like, what is the point I want to make exactly? Disclaimer. Everyone says this episode ruined The Simpsons, and I agree with them. The like Armin Tamzarian episode where it's just like shows that everything about Skinner was a lie. Like, I agree that that's dumb and should be considered non-canon. But I realized one thing I like about it. It's that the one thing that makes sense about it to me is that this guy would totally do that, I think. Like, it's annoying and frustrating that like they introduce this element and then they just like get rid of it by the end of the episode, say never mention it again, as if they were to say like we already figured out this episode sucks before we even finished making it. But like, I guess the original idea, if you can possibly keep viewers from getting frustrated about those things, the original idea might have something to it. Like, the way that the writers see Principal Skinner, it's like he has like, well, I guess there's like different views on him. There's like the tortured soul Skinner that's like got the Vietnam stare, and then there's like I think what Matt Groening thinks is like, this is just a man with no integrity. This is a man that would just steal somebody's entire life and not really live his own, right? Isn't that just like how he sees this character? Like in the deepest, beneath the crust and the crisp of like Matt Groening's wildly successful career, there is a core of a rebellious little boy that's really mad at this guy, that sees this as a false authority figure, that like everything about this guy is just like, Aurora Borealis. Like everything he does is just like has no integrity, has no honesty. He can't even live in an honest way. They make fun of him for living with his mother, but like even his mother hates him. He's a false authority figure. Is what I like about the like Armin Tamzarian thing, is that he's not even really him. But I feel like everybody on the internet a handful of years ago figured out that Steamed Hams is one of the funniest and also one of the most in character and succinct ways of showing Principal Skinner as this like false authority, this man with no integrity, this man with like the floor just doesn't exist in his house. Aurora Borealis. Like everybody in this situation just sort of accepts the fact that he's lying about everything. Like he's not really cooking dinner. And honest enough mistake to burn dinner. But like the real reason he's doing this is so that like he can like win favor with the superintendent for some unknown reason, probably just to keep his job, which he really shouldn't have. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting, that I realized something, that like the way that this character is portrayed, especially what, you know, when he's funniest, is portrayed from Bart's perspective. This guy who is not the boss of me, and you know, it's not even funny how not the boss of me this guy is. But yeah, like I don't know if everybody else had a shitty principal, but that's what it's like, I guess. Yeah, this thing is wrong. Oh, and Harry Shearer is a god. He is so funny as Principal Skinner and all the other characters that sound exactly like that. um that shit rules. The way I feel like he was able to capture the exact person that they hate so much with this voice. A fucking asshole. He's in charge of children, but he doesn't have any. And, you know, he's from the fucking military, so he treats it like it's the military. And everybody knows that everything would be just fine without this guy. We'd all be fine without this guy. And Edna is not even willing to admit she's in a relationship with this guy. He's, you know, he's a dork. He's he's a little worm. Oh shit. Like I lost work. Wow. It was just a shitty in between. I guess it's fine. Steamed hams, if you please. It's like I'm making an animation test. It's a cartoon, but you know, I'm kind of doing it for the animation test. I wanna do a little bit more grease pencil stuff. I was working on a Fox in Space last time, but I want to try out my own idea of a workflow, because with a Fox in Space, the characters are very multifaceted. They're, you know, they're made up of like 10 layers, and I wanted to do 3 layers. How about 3 layers? It sounds so easy. Well, also I'm probably I don't even know if I'm separating the grease pencils because it's such a short video. I might just do everything on. Well, I'm trying to do it as close to how they would have done it with cells as I can. Oh, sorry, I forgot the bottom screen is what you all see. So it's not really, I didn't really have it on very well. In my head. What made you stop using Flash? Who says I stopped using Flash? Oh, I just realized something. I want to pop my chat out so I can read it. I haven't been seeing what anyone's been saying. I just saw you say Drake was a pussy. How was your day? Very nice. Are you reanimating steamed hams? No, I'm just doing a little steamed hams comic I did. I made it a comic a few years ago, this thing, and I kind of liked it, so I'm gonna animate it and get a little bit more grease pencil stuff experience under my belt. As Pepper Plush, well, I've heard that the prototype is almost done, but I don't really have an update beyond that. "2016 was 9 years ago." Well, yeah, like I keep saying now, I've been saying it a lot lately, that like between 1985 and 1995 was its own decade. So like if you think of it that way, you'll realize that it has its own stylistic it has like its own aesthetic voice or whatever, like its own stylistic identity that is separate from what you might think of as the 80s or the 90s. It's like, think of 80s, you think of like 80s sci-fi, or like, like computers, spaceships, that kind of thing, cars that travel through time. You think of the 90s, you think of like skateboards and cool designs. And what about between that? Like there was like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like sort of like this there was like such, it's like around the time I was born, I feel like I can imagine like a like styles that like just blipped in and out of existence. And it feels like a whole decade is just like lost. It's like sandwiched. Only familiar with the 2000s. The 90s seem very mythical to me. Well, yeah, like even to me, and I lived through them, but like I don't remember it that well. And even now I'm like trying to think of examples of like late 80s, early 90s aesthetics. It's like the way the interiors looked was so different, like throughout the decades. Like um man, I guess this is the place to complain about interiors. I'm so sick of interiors. Like modern interiors make me vomit. I want to be able to like design my own interior, because I can't rely on anyone else to do it for me. Like I have a sort of like um how do I even describe it? I have a gray apartment. It's like there's this floor, it's like gray. And the bathroom is all just like black and white and gray. It's like, you know, there's black and white in there. Like all the all the surfaces are white or gray. Like this is fucking everything, and this is like I don't know. It's ugly. It looks cheap. It looks boring. You go to the like Home Depot now, and all the samples look like shit. Like they intentionally made interiors less interesting or something. Everything has to either be gray or white. Yeah, it's all for like I don't know. It feels like it's just like, you know, nothing can have personality. Like there's no colors. It's all just like ugly garbage. Fuck us. Fuck us piss shit. Bad. But yeah, like I miss that luxury. It's that like luxurious like or something like stimulating some way, like interiors like that make you happy. Like, oh, here we go. Like let me find my here's one example. My Utopian Scholastic playlist. Like, anybody remember getting their first computer? For me, it was like 1994 or 5. When when they were trying to really sell you on its like educational capabilities. And like the art and like design and like music reflected that kind of thing. This like optimistic future of like I suppose wealth through education. Okay, I can never even tell anymore if something is like, you know, essentially like vaporwave where like somebody made it recently or like remixed something old to like make it like in, you know, the 2020s or something, or if it's actually old from 1988, the year I was born. Can you tell? Is this made by is this made or what's the word? Is this revival? Is this made after the fact? Is this made with context, or is this original? It's actually from 1988 is the answer. This had to be made during the times. Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of tell, can't you? Oh my god, the squeaky voice teen. Alright, I need to get another model shit up. Model shit. Name is Jeremy. He looks so different in all these drawings. There's more than one of him, aren't there? Alright, let me actually close this and work on this window instead. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Goal? I want 20 million billion. I want 100 trillions. Billions and billions. 1 second to get me $600 million. You have to give me $1 million now. Get inspired with examples. Get inspired with examples. I want to generate more. Here's some ideas. I'll stream again on Friday. I'll play a rhythm game without any sound. Hosting a community game night. Get 1 extra hour of live streaming when we reach the goal. Your streamer will explore the indie games. Got it? Okay, give me the goal. Now you get the goal now. No, I can't do this. Pick a goal, 1 super chat. That sounds like an attainable goal. All the colors, set a timer, 3 hours. Share how you'll celebrate. I get to live. There, I get the goal. Give me the goal. I love how the cashier resembles a Homestar Runner character. Well, it's supposed to look like a Simpsons character. So I hope I didn't fuck up. How do I draw this hat exactly? I like the idea of trying to capture the style of the past and like have it still be like really completely different from the actual past, but you know, is a good try. Yeah, like how would the cartoon I want to make sound? I'm just listening to like a lot of old music. Terrible music. Music I hate. Anyway, how's everybody doing? How's your holiday? How's everybody's Hanukkah? How's Hanukkah? How's your Christmas? Like I wonder sometimes about like what people were thinking about, what people kind of shit people were on like 30 years ago. It's like a little bit possible for me to remember, or at least, I don't know, read some old newspapers. There's like a lot of Africa in the music. Right? Like the to anyone who remembers or knows, like I feel like this is one of those things that felt like it like was over by the mid 90s. It's like you see them on like commercials for computers and airlines and it's like, okay, yeah, sorry to take a break, but I'm going back to that conversation about the conversation with me, that dialogue, that monologue. Where, God, I got lost immediately. Oh yeah, yeah. It's like the whole Armin Tamzarian thing. Like, I do kind of wish that we were able to use stories and characters in a way that was like a little bit less literal, so that we could do stuff like his character's a fraud the whole time without it really mattering. They do ask us to never mention it again under penalty of torture, but we didn't listen. Now we're just engaging in self-torture, talking about the decline of the Simpsons. Like, yeah, like I wish that stuff wasn't like super like uh well, you know, they do have the like Halloween episodes where weird shit happens. Nobody cares. finally get to work on The Simpsons. Years later. Ow. Joe, thoughts on Five Nights at Freddy's SpongeBob parodies mod? I'm 36, so something to keep in mind. I don't have thoughts on that because I'm 36.
That's what I call hamburgers. The regional dialect.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about people who really understand that character. You know, playing with it a little. Makes all that shit up about upstate New York. For what? Man, I think that's, that's just great when you can get revenge on your enemies by making them into a stupid cartoon. Dumb person in a cartoon. A guy who lives with his mom. But yeah, I think the Armin thing, it works because like he's not just a loser, asshole. He's a complete fraud. Oh, what that looks like. Got like an apron on. All right, I think what I'm trying to find out is what what do I remember and what is the difference between what I remember and what other people remember? I guess difference between my memory and the records, like music. Have you ever been to an internet cafe? Nah. Don't worry about FNAF at Freddy's. It's lore. It's just big Schrodinger's box. Yeah, I don't think they were even talking about that. I don't know why this guy works at every fast food place in Springfield. But he's not the only one. There's other characters who are like the same voice but look completely different from him. Got acne. Yeah, like there's a few things that are consistent, but they never had a model sheet for him, I guess. Yeah. Until like season 79 or whatever. Now he's got a first and last name, and he's probably like a trademark. Okay, so I guess the inside of Simpsons mouths are just black. I just use this. No. Thank you. Goal achieved. Hit a goal. I get to live. Could be a nutter. I get to nutter. Can now we do 5. Get to live again. Thank you for the dollar. You get $100. I did another goal. Get to give me another. Get to live more. My 5-year-old is also watching. Alright, well, I do swear and smoke on my pipe from time to time. What you doing, Joe? I'm working on this animation test. Just another test animation. It's nothing real. I'd like it to lead to something real though. Because if I can make a few tests and, you know, be like really happy with the amount that grease pencil resembles actual cell animation, then I'll probably use this for another video. I'm getting the hang of it. This is a little different from how they make a Fox in Space, but it's, you know, my way. Like my fetus watch. Why you're letting your kids watch this? I mean, it's, you know, it's not really for kids, but like if it's a 5-year-old who's barely paying attention, it's probably fine. He's not cussing. Well, you know, if your kid hears a cuss, they should be, you know, they should be told that it's not a good word to say. So I think, you know, it's like maybe not squarely on the it's not squarely on the content creator to worry about you know, content rating. I guess like that's I guess you know, you don't want to dilute that just because there might be a baby watching. I mean, I feel like most of the people who watch my channel are kids. This is a pretty good drawing, I think. What is this song? Blue Sky and Yellow Sunflower by Susumu Yokota, 2005. Yeah, this is the decade between 1995 and 2005. Steam a good ham. Thank you, Ripolo. Or Ripollo, if it's Spanish. Repollo. Get repolloed. I don't know. What do you call that? The interdecade decade? A decade that was passing while a decade was passing. While two other decades were passing. Decades are made up. We all know this, right? But I think that, like, if you look at some of the, like, the decades, you read between the lines, they make a little more sense. Because, like, you know, the stuff in the 80s was kind of set up in the 70s. What we have now is kind of set up last decade. Like, if you look at the internet in 2010, you'll scream. You'll be shocked at how much it's changed. It's like, before that, you could look at the, like, resolution of something before and scream. It's like, wow, this, you know, Super Nintendo screen was so small compared to my iPhone. And then, like, 2 iPhones later, you scream again at how small the original iPhone was. And, like, you see one of your old phone screenshots, and it's just like, how are you so small? Like when you pick up a kitten by its scruff, you're like, how are you so small? And make him wear a pink hat. Hey, pink hat. Yeah, but you know, not a Krusty Burger. It doesn't matter though. Pink hat is funny. think before I just did this, had a camera move over. The grease pencil, rather.
That's what I call hamburgers. Old family recipe.
Hmm. Like, wondering now, like, how I should go about doing the, like, fake tripod effect. Should I actually move the camera, or should I move the guy? Yeah, I think I need to make a, like a viv. There's the camera, and then there's add constrained. Okay, so what? Yeah, what I think I can do is do a constraint, turn the influence all the way down, so I can just like move this like mad all around, and the camera will shake a teeny tiny little bit. There we go. Except that's way too much. Look how much it shakes from frame to frame. Like that. Um... Yo, have you retired Flash for good now? No, I don't think so. Still, still gonna use Flash for some things, I think. But, when it comes to like working with other people, I have no idea which one would be easier or more viable to get people to learn. Yeah, like there's more easier, and then there's also more difficult but worth it. Why is he here now? This is all wrong. I fucked up. No, what? How far back is it? There we go. Shit. Well, I want there to be a, there'll be a few frames of him making a few different expressions. Yeah, I sort of agree with stupid shit that doesn't make sense if it makes sense for the character, right? Like, I guess it makes sense that Homer went to space. Makes sense that Trump became president. Homer is hated by Frank Grimes because he thinks he doesn't deserve everything he's got. Principal Skinner wants to kill Bart. He tries to kill Bart in like Treehouse of Horror. I wonder if he would kill Bart out of Treehouse of Horror. Well, I guess outside of Treehouse of Horror, Bart would not kill Principal Skinner. There's that one episode where they think Bart had him killed. But he was actually just trapped under a pile of newspapers. Like, what were people in the 90s going through to make a show like this? And it's like, I feel like so much was just ripe for satire. and now it's like we're past the point of even making fun of the Simpsons. We're not even parodying the Simpsons anymore. This drawing is not on model. Kind of funny. I mean, it looks just like this drawing. Maybe I could just like copy and paste it. I remember the 2000s like a little better than the 90s. I remember everything starting to suck more than everything being good. Well, like, you know, I feel like things started to suck in real life the 2000s and things started to get good online. And now things are online are starting to suck. I don't know. I guess I'm looking at these things with nostalgia, with rose tinted glasses. The 90s were not so much better. I just miss pre 9/11 people, pre 9/11 attitude. It's just been nonstop. Okay, who do we get next? It's just nonstop. Who do we get next? Since fucking 9/11, it's like we're never going to undo 9/11, no matter how many people we get. I was born into the suckiest suck of 2005 at 3 years of age. Everything is already shit. Is greed.
Oh no, I said steamed hams.
It's like the kind of person who, for which like the deal just gets increasingly shittier. It's like, first you're promised an unforgettable luncheon. Then he says that the smoke coming out of his oven is actually steam. That he's steaming clams. Then he says,
No, I said steamed hams. Silly.
weren't you listening? Don't you know about my culture from upstate New York, you bigot? You son of a bitch. You've never even been to upstate New York.
Well, I've been from Utica.
No. I'm not even talking about Utica at all. Dork. Aren't you listening? They're called steamed hams. Like, please. It's like, I think your house is on fire. It's like, please. Please, just accept my lie. Just accept the bullshit. Like, they know he's held together with like twigs and glue, so they don't question it. He has to do this. It's like, dude, just call the fire department. Like, no, he has to pretend like it's all okay, or else. I really like how he looks in this sketch, and I'm not sure how I can translate it without breaking the model sheet too much. I guess it would be okay if it's like sort of out of the main. It's sort of out of like where the focal point is. What is this? Hello, welcome. You have to keep retouching that drawing. Seems a bit neurotic. Leave it be. It's a 3/4. It's a reverse 3/4 view, and I'm working on it because it's a difficult one. You're becoming the remember the 90s guy? Well, yeah, a little bit. I mean, I don't think I actually want to go back. I think I'm always still just like making fun of that idea. But nostalgia is, I think, an important, like, it's like a guide. It's not like, you shouldn't get caught up on shit being over. You should be glad that it ever was. And I feel like, it can be done either way. It could be done poorly or done well. Yeah, I don't know. Neuroses are not necessarily bad when you're trying hard to get the spirit of the original sketch in the finished drawing. It can take a few tries and it can look really wrong. Sometimes you have to compromise if you're just not getting it. That sucks. Would it be funny if I like make him look more realistic like that? Yeah, these are the things I have to think about, like what's funniest. I have to try them out like that. I also hated my school principal in elementary school. It was just like this worm. Like, power tripping. Piece of shit. I guess now that I'm fully out of that, I can make fun of that in my work a little. Oh fuck, did I lose my stream because of Enya? Ah. This is a 90s song. I might go to rehab clinic tomorrow. Hey, words of advice? I don't know if I have any. I suppose, you know, it'll be alright. You're still you, no matter what kind of drugs you've consumed, what kind of fucked up you've become. And, you know, you're getting better. There's no shame in that. This is kind of a close, more on model version of this drawing. We can eat, we can eat, we can eat. We can eat. We can each have a leech. This is pretty good. He looks sufficiently sad to be at this restaurant. That's what I was going for.
That's what I call hamburgers.
I thought it would be fun if like you had comic book guy reacting to someone else deal with an annoying customer.
Oh, why, I think I will order in my own special way, based on my very real heritage. Oh, that's correct. I am from upstate New York. I suppose you can tell from my voice. Ho ho ho. No. No, we lost our accent centuries ago. We've lived in Springfield for 400 years. My ancient ancestral homeland, upstate New York. Albany, of course.
There is a place in New Haven, Connecticut that has real steamed hams. I haven't been there in years, but I did have the hams when I was there like 15 years ago. It's like there's a place called Lewis Lunch, which is also, I think, in New Haven, where the hamburger was invented. So I guess this other place is probably about as old, and they've been doing it the same way for like a century, making these steamed cheeseburgers, and like they're pretty fucking good. As good as grilled burgers are, the steamed ones are good too. Like they like steamed hams. Doesn't sound very yummy. They are good though. I want those steamed burgers again. It's like the collagen starts to melt or something, and it becomes all like, you know, good, as opposed to like full of like chewy bits. That's what I call hamburgers. I'm a douchebag. Some people can't be helped. I have to practice my voices. I have to voice everybody in this. Son, I admire your integrity. I also have to figure out how to get the like Simpsons voice sound. There's probably not too much to it. I think they just compress the shit out of it until it sounds, you know, the good. They just use the sound goodizer. It's a regional dialect. And yeah, I have to record it over and over until I have perfect takes that I can just like perfectly edit together. Like when you listen to the classic Simpsons audio, it's like it's so snappy. All the gags have like, you know, the funniest take of the line. The lines all sound super crisp and clear and loud. Like everything is so loud in that show in a good way. Like all the dialogue is like clean. They realized at some point that the dialogue was the Maggie pacifier sound effect and the dialogue could not be played at the same time. They realized that they needed to make it so Maggie knows when not to suck her pacifier. Just because it was like, man, baby is sucking the pacifier while the characters are talking. That's more like it. I did an impression of it for the Family Simp parody. Instead of just using the real one, I recorded my own. There is something to the sucking sound that's like funnier than the one I'm doing. That sound effect they could never recreate, right? They will never make a new Maggie sucking sound effect. Bah. Bah. Oh, what? Missed it. What did it say? Get a new follower on... Oh, thank you. Thank you for the bits, Convex. I'd love to hear your thoughts on modern CN series like Gumball, Regular Show, Adventure Time, etc. All right. I can give my 2 cents You can give me 95 bits. Let's see. Gumball. Gumball's funny. I liked the art style in the beginning, and over time it became like more generic looking. So it also like became like every other show that gets like really popular and then like really self-aware, where it's just like dumb now. It's like the show ran its course and that got bad. But like you can tell the good episodes of Gumball because there was like the they drew the eyes different. They made it look like Bubble Bobble or something. And you know, it was novel. There was something new about it. Yeah, it was funny. Regular show, it's like that's just funny. I mean, it's like if it's on, you'll watch it. I'll watch it if it's on. That's like a kind of show, you know, like a show you probably wouldn't put on. Like The Simpsons is both. You would both watch it while it's on and you'd put it on. But like, you know, I felt like Everybody Loves Raymond is one of those shows you just watch when it's on. It's like you own every single DVD of Everybody Loves Raymond, but you still just watch it on TV. Right? Because it's always on. You know who else watched regular show? This Aurora Borealis? Yeah, it's Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis. Upstate New York. He's not saying that to him as a mental note, because, you know, he thinks of that one on the spot. Like, what is happening in there? Aurora Borealis. It's hard to say. Aurora Borealis. Well, I'm not gonna have to say it for this, but it's still a good training exercise. It's a good warm up. Aurora Borealis. I see it. Oh. Chalmers is not in this, so I won't have to do his voice, but I have to do comic book guy. Some people can't be helped. Last night's Itchy and Scratchy was, without a doubt, the worst episode ever. Rest assured I was on the internet. Rest assured I was on the internet within minutes, registering my complaints throughout the world. Please stop banging your head up. Please stop banging your head against the jewel case. Thank you. It contains a very rare Mary Worth where she convinces a friend to commit suicide. Yeah, I need practice. Need to practice the comic book man. He only has one line, but still. If I try it out with AI voices and it sounds good, I might use it, but I probably won't have to. I mean, it's not like with Marge and Lisa where I need that to do their voices. I just probably need to get it compressed enough to sound like it's from the show. Steamed ham. Steamed hams. He has like a radio voice. A radio voice. Steamed hams. Old family recipe. Old family recipe. That's right. Old family recipe.
Enigma. 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 Enigmatism. Enigmatism. A pigma. A bigma.
I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
Yeah, like comic book guy has had to deal with dumbass customers like this guy for like, I don't know. How long has he been in business? Like 20 years? I was in the internet within minutes, registering my complaints throughout the world. That was better. Yeah, I'm kind of cheaping out on this, but I don't know. That's part of it, I guess. I want to see how much I could cheap out on and still have it look like a real cell animation. But the answer might be not much. His pupil so big there. Yeah, that's a no-no, making the Simpsons pupils big. Although I liked those episodes. I liked it when the Simpsons had really big pupils. You know, like where Homer was high. What episodes were those? What season was that where they all had big pupils? And the commentary was like, ew, I hate those big pupils. But I like them. There's so many kinds of Homer. There's old Homer. There's big pupils Homer. There's jerk-ass Homer. Oh my god. There's so much AI Homer. Like garbage. Homer? Who is Homer? My name is Guy Incognito. I'm never gonna find this, am I? Big pupils Homer. Oh, here's a picture. All right, I need to do a side by side because it's subtle and nuanced, possibly not notice if not paying attention. All right, here's a picture of the Simpsons, right? It's from like season 2, and here they are again, but with bigger pupils. And here they are again with really big pupils, like even bigger than that big. I feel like, yeah, like after drawing these characters 20 million times, you get better at drawing them, and then you start drawing them differently. It's like, I don't know, every artist has to break the model sheet a little bit in their own way without realizing it. It's you know, an art style is not as rigid of a thing as you might think. Even when they have the producers breathing down their neck constantly, screaming at them about how big the pupils are. But I like them. They're cute. Look at this. I mean, you know, the others look fine too, but I don't think the big pupils are as big a problem as they. Oh wait, what am I doing? I'm not even sharing Flash. I've just been like demonstrating with a fucking god damn it. Let's depress seed 2. Yeah, there. Like here's like season 2, you know, season 3 and 4 maybe. I don't know. I think over time the pupils just crept up in size. I like the big pupils. It's just, it's just like Mr. Burns getting injected with whatever gives them the pupils. Well, yeah, like they were saying on the commentary, it's like annoying. They said Homer looked high. I don't find it as annoying as they did though. I think it's, you know, all right if the art style's a little bit inconsistent. It's totally different now. It's been changing over and over for decades. I do not miss the era of gross out cartoons one bit. Yup. Me neither. Not really. I need the jerk-ass Homer to complete my Homer collection. You need evil Homer. You need jerk-ass and evil. The show is better when there was more labor involved in making it. Actually, maybe there wasn't. Maybe there's just as much labor now to make an animated cartoon. It's just that they, you know, when you find any shortcuts, they give you more work to do. So it becomes like the same or more amount of work. Cute. What's up, buddy? I guess I didn't answer, what about Adventure Time? Well, it's okay. I never got like as into it, because I felt like Adventure Time, the pilot was the thing I really loved, and it felt like the pilot was just like, you know, no real like rules, nothing really established. And then when the show got going, it was like you kind of have this rigidity to it with like the cast of characters. Like this is like the main cast. It's like, oh, I thought you were just making shit up, and then it is just like making shit up a lot of the time. But from what I saw, a lot of Adventure Time would like bring it back to like the, you know, there's like the house, the BMO, the Candy Kingdom, the vampires, etc. The Ice King. It's like they're circling around these ideas instead of just like going off in one direction infinitely. And I felt like the show was sometimes really good and sometimes I didn't like it, and it was hard to like keep track of that. Yeah, I guess The Simpsons has that exact problem. Like you need like somebody telling you if like there was like an internal struggles at the writer's room or something. Well, you know, Adventure Time had some great episodes, I thought, but I never really thought it was the shit. Maybe it just didn't appeal to me, or maybe I was just like a little too old. You just asking how I feel about these cartoons. I guess like yeah, like feeling like maybe I wasn't like super invested in the characters or something. Or, you know, characters are just one element. I feel like Inception is a good example of like movie that's still worth watching even though like there's no characters in it. Like there's no characters in it. There's like actors, but there's no characters. Like can you even tell me who the main character of Inception is? You know, don't say like Leonardo DiCaprio or anything. Don't say the name of an actor. It's like, who are the characters? It's okay if you don't know because it doesn't matter really. Although I guess I'd probably watch that movie again if I liked the characters. It's like, you know, characters are just one element of a story. You could even have characters that kind of suck and still tell a good story, right? Well, I guess I think that like it should never just feel like these are the characters and today they're just gonna do nothing. Like it should always feel like there's something really like planned. Like the characters and story feel just like so intrinsically linked and inseparable. Maybe it was because like Adventure Time was a big hit. Kind of reminds me of how I felt about like the later Bugs Bunnies, where it's like this could have been anybody. It didn't have to be Bugs, right? It's like it could have been Daffy. Well, you know, they had to make like 60 million cartoons, so like they took every single concept under the sun and made it into a Bugs Bunny cartoon. And eventually it's just like, why is it even Bugs Bunny? Because this could be some other plot. Make more sense that it's about a bunny. But maybe it's because like maybe the frustrating thing is that like it's like a boy show about like boy fantasies, and like all the like all the romance stuff is like subverted by like feminist writers. So like what kind of boy fantasy are we living out here? So he's like, no, Finn, we don't like you. It's gotta be subverted because, you know, you can't just have what you want in a fantasy that doesn't even happen in real life. You can't have what you want in real life or in a fantasy. No adventure time for you. Yeah, that's I guess that is the strange thing about it, that it's supposed to be about spontaneity and it feels like it's about restriction. But, you know, that is not to say that there aren't some, like, really cool episodes that, like, were really all just about, like, someone running with an interesting idea. Alright, you know, I watched Steven Universe because I was a big Rebecca Sugar fan. It was, you know, it was like DBZ. There's good things about it, but it's also a lot of filler. Because, you know, it's so weird to, like, make all of this filler and then, like, you know, 30 years from time you make the show, it's like all that filler still exists. Like now people will, you know, they'll be nostalgic for DBZ, but they won't really want to watch all that crap again. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you take out like one out of every 4 episodes, you got a pretty good show. I hate Steven Universe with a passion. You mean you hate the show or you hate Steven? Because I like the show, but I also hate Steven. Well, it's also not like, you know, the most original show. It's kind of a mishmash of anime tropes, but with a Western spin. I think the Simpsons reference is my favorite part. The "Do It For Her" song. Cause Rebecca Sugar did that Simpsons reference comic. There once were 2 guys, 2 brothers who loved The Simpsons, and they quoted The Simpsons to each other all the time. You know, one of them would say, "Lisa needs braces," and the other would say, "Dental plan." They would just, you know, do that all the time, everywhere they went. It's just like this comic about these 2 brothers who quote The Simpsons. It's like, you know, you don't expect the tragic turn that like one of the brothers gets in a car accident and he suffers brain damage. Like he suffers severe brain damage and things do not look good. It feels like he may be a vegetable, but then turns out he can still quote The Simpsons, and he quotes The Simpsons with his brother, but it's like for the last time, because I don't think because the brother's gonna die, and I don't think he has much time left. I love that shit. Your brothers in a van. I miss when you used to animate Papa Scatito because it looks cool, and I was very nicely animated. I was very nicely animated. A lot of people are saying so. I look very good on the cartoonist. I was like, why does he hate Bart Simpson? Because he knows how to have fun. You know, I guess he hates him because he's actually an issue. But like, it should be like law enforcement who deals with him. But like, as long as they force him to go to school, he's gonna keep acting out. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of seen as a punishment for doing nothing wrong. And then you kind of do things that are wrong so that you feel like at least you've been aptly punished for something. This is going to be an absurdly introspective take on steamed hams, isn't it? Absurdly introspective? You mean like it's going to have a lot of really annoying millennial writing about how something fourth wall breaking meta commentary? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And like the character just like starts explaining the fact that it's a show or some shit. I don't fucking know. It's not gonna be like that intelligent or anything. It's just the scene that I imagine happens at the Krusty Burger. It's like you kind of just like, you know, I guess it's a meta commentary in the sense that like I only made this cartoon because it was like a meme, and like you wouldn't even be thinking about what's going on at Krusty Burger if you weren't so desperate for more steamed hams content. You know, like it feels like steamed hams has become a blank canvas for people to put anything onto. But it's like, you know, it's not blank, it's an episode of The Simpsons, but like to treat it like it's a blank canvas is interesting. And everybody does it their own way. Everyone steams them however they want. And you know, Papa Scatito kind of means something similar to steamed hams in my mind. Like it's like a crundical piece of content, but you still want it. Steamed hams. Like, what if it was literally steamed ham? That sounds kind of disgusting, but like there's so much of it. It's like you click on a steamed hams parody video, you watch it, and then there's another one right there for you immediately after. Over the years, more steamed hams content drops. It's all very steamed and old family recipe. Okay, maybe his eye is like a little bit further back. I was thinking less forthwell and more Skinner is emotionally over-detailing his exact financial and familial life situation in the moments of steamed hams and reconsiders his life choices or something. I mean, he is not considering his life choices. He hasn't even completely burned his house down yet. He hasn't even made the decision to allow his house to burn just so that he could keep up the appearance of things not burning down. Like, or, you know, like, just keep up the appearance of some sort of like having it together in some way. He gives a thumbs up while shaking nervously because it's like, no, don't look at the house on fire. Just you know, give me a good grade on my report card. You know, whatever the hell he needs from Chalmers. Just like this night, this dinner, or I guess this luncheon has to go perfectly. But like, he wasn't paying attention to the roast, which is why it burned. He made up that shit about steamed clams and then lied and said that he said steamed hams. He gaslighted him. Oh, you have poor hearing. You remembered it wrong. No, you're going crazy. It was steamed hams all along. See, everyone agrees. I even got them saying it at Krusty Burger. If you order steamed hams from Krusty Burger, they'll know what you mean. It's like he wants to show him that you can order steamed hams at Krusty Burger and they'll know what you mean. And yet these are not Krusty Burgers at all. No. Patented Skinner burgers. Old family recipe for steamed hams. Ooh. Well, Seymour, I made it. Oh, kidding. Hang on, I'll be right back. So yeah, like, I think that at the meat of this cartoon is my analysis of Skimore that I've been making this whole time. This man with no power. He's a false authority. He's a fraud. He don't have any integrity. And in this moment, he feels sorry. I guess you're right. I guess there was a bit of introspection, but it wasn't enough to change his life. It wasn't enough to make him reconsider his life choices. But like, the amount of introspection he has here shakes him a little, because, you know, he gets so impatient with him just because the kid told him what was in the burgers. And, you know, he says, I just wanted you to know so you weren't disappointed. And he realizes how he you know, he admires his integrity and has none of his own when it comes to what is being served versus what was advertised. He changed the story. He gaslights. But like, he also knows that there's no way out of this situation now. Which comic book guy also says. Some people can't be helped. Uh. No work? Oh, brother. Good lord, what is happening in there? Yeah, what's happening in there? Happening in there? Aurora Borealis? Aurora Borealis. That is a good warm-up. Aurora Borealis, Aurora Borealis, Aurora Borealis, Aurora Borealis, Aurora Borealis, Ouroboros. I'm the Ouroboros. I taste good. I eat me. I eat me for lunch. I eat me forever. It's a good idea. Yeah, but like, you know, the Armand Hamzarian episode sucks, but it speaks the truth about this guy. He's just none of the things he says or thinks he is. I mean, there's also episodes that I guess show him in a less negative light. You know, like the episode where Bart he sets up Skinner with his aunt so he can control him. Like, Bart sucks in that one. He deserves it. Skinner was, you know, way more sympathetic in that episode than ever before or ever again. But, you know, as I always say, a cartoon character is not really that much of, you know, it's not any kind of truth. It's what you think. If you thought your school principal was nice, then you can make a cartoon about that. And no one will watch it. But, you know, if the goal is to make him look like as big of a piece of shit as possible, then this is how you do it. I guess he could be an even bigger piece of shit than this. You know, this guy's just kind of a dork and a bossy asshole. I guess I hated my principal for that reason too. What other cartoon school principals were there? Like Principal Warts from Hey Arnold. Like a warty guy, I guess. Guy who looks like a warthog. Or word frog. Yeah, like he hasn't even done his little steamed hams song and dance. He's not even that far yet. There's so much more suffering for him to go through before he gets to that point. Like the shame of having to climb back through the window after having snuck out. Yeah, he's not even ready for that, but that's what's next for him. At least he's got enough money. That, you know, that's not one of his problems here. He didn't have $10 to buy fast food, and he had to like think fast and, you know, rob somebody. That's another, you know, that's another possible interpretation that, like, you know, I guess it depends on what he's trying to get out of the superintendent, but I think it's really just his job. You know, he just wants to keep his job. He does this stupid steamed hams song and dance, this unforgettable luncheon thing, so that he can possibly keep his job. But he's a fraud, and for him to keep his job is essentially robbery. So it would not be that wild for him to actually rob a place. I mean, if you rob the fast food place, they're not going to get your order right. It'll take too long. So he's got to be like, excuse me 1 second, to Krusty Burger. Go to the bank, rob that, or, you know, I think he looks across the street and he sees a bank and he sees a little old lady. He's just like, oh, delightfully devilish, Seymour. And he just, like, you know, finds a Krusty Burger like bag on the ground, pokes some holes in it, puts over his head, and robs the little old lady. She has like $12. It's the amount of money he needs. Yeah, also, like, you know, robbery. You could compare what he's doing to a robbery, or you could compare it to identity theft. You know, not only is he possibly really named Armin Tamzarian, but he's also just a fraud in every other way. He just wants to have power over children. He's a complete bastard. He's a bastard in the way all cops are bastards. All cops are bastards. I had a all cops are bastards joke. What was it? Well, that just basically means that if you are this kind of person, you're like, you're this little worm who just wants respect and demands it, and like, it's like this power is unearned. Well, wait, what was... Sorry, I got kind of lost in what I was saying. All cops are bastards means that, like, they'll ultimately abuse their power, right? You know, I don't think they're really talking about going through red lights, but that's one example. Like, you think you can get away with something because you're the authority. But yeah, like, Matt Groening was always really anti-authority, and that was one of the things that made people panic about the show when it was new. That it's like, man, this is sending some really fucked up messages to children about Bart Simpson being cool. That's bad for us, you know, conservative people. He should have roofied Chalmers. Fucking God. Like, Jesus. Like, that's fucked up, but like, I can see him doing it. Feeling pushed so far to the brink that he feels like this is what we have to do now. By the way, I like the choice of words here. He's like, this is where we are. This is what we're doing. It's like he's got a bit of a split personality or something. He's got multiple identities. Well, here we are, he thinks to himself. It's like, who are you talking to, Seymour? I'm talking to the other Seymour. Yeah, like, what does Edna hate about him? What does she like about him? What does he like about her? You know, for one thing, she's a woman. And she didn't give birth to him. But she's also really incredibly desperate, which is another good thing she's got going for her. She's a fucking mess. Oh, and the relationship is wildly inappropriate. That too. Wildly inappropriate. I remember the days when those words would only come out of my mouth. Would have to choose between the woman I love and the superintendent I love. Maybe it'll be cool. Yeah, I could steam a few hams for the three of us. Well, I may have lost my job. You may have fired me, Superintendent, but I had such a good time eating steamed hams with you that I'd still like to invite you over for another luncheon. The directions will be better this time. Ugh. Hard to get this nose from the side. Yeah, it's like, man, like you'd want to turn out like Homer compared to this guy. Like Homer has better life than this motherfucker. He has a job, a stress-free job. I mean, they both have to deal with Bart. I guess they kind of like compete with each other in like indirect ways, like to try and pass Bart off onto each other, like acting like the other is Bart's responsibility, which Seymour hates because he can't have power without responsibility. So he has to take some responsibility. Homer's ignorance is bliss. Well, yeah, like while Seymour is just like paying attention to every detail, Homer is just asleep. He's asleep at his desk. But yeah, like there's how the writer feels about the character, and then there's also like just how you know a character might be funny next to another character. So I think some of the writers really hated Seymour, like, you know, wanted to put all the worst traits into this character. While others, I think, just see how him and Bart are funny together. Although, yeah, like I feel like if Bart was written more like Bongo, the rabbit, the like one-eared rabbit that's like from Life in Hell, he's like kind of like Bart but smarter and less of an asshole. Bart, there's no excuse. He should be eliminated by such a pop. You know, I don't know what his problem is. I'm not sure what the I'm not sure what like they were thinking there exactly. I I get the sense that I do know what they were thinking with Skinner though, because it seems like it's so baked into the uh baked into the show like a pie. like the nature of the show to have disdain for authority figures. Sideshow Bob doesn't really. He's not really authority. He's just smarter than everyone in Springfield. Why don't you use AI to animate? It's way easier and faster. Thank you for making some of the best memes. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. I mean, AI can't make anything. It's good for Crundus. It's good for exploring ideas and making up things with like a fake photo generator thing. That's fun. But that's not my art. I can't just like use it to make my art. I, don't even really have much against it. I probably would if I could. It's just like it takes more effort to use the AI than to just make it. Then it's like, why am I using it? Like, don't kid yourself into thinking it's like go to solve everything or replace anything. I've used it for animations. It's useful, but it saves like oh fuck, shit. Really? You're gonna block my stream over this audio? Kiss my ass. And artificial intelligence is still like really weak compared to real intelligence. It's also blocked. Anyway, what I was saying? Did anybody hear what I was saying or no? So yeah, where's my? There's me. Just that animation frames are not faster or easier unless you want it to look like shit penis. If you want it to look like grundle fuck, then yeah. It's like the people who use AI, I have nothing against them. It's fun to tinker with, even if it is a waste of power. What's shitty though is like anyone who thinks that crap passes for art. It's like can you use it for art? Sure, but how much of the art can you actually use it for? If you generate it 100%, then it'll 100% suck. If you do it like 5%, then you're probably using it in a way that people won't even notice, which I agree with. If you do it in a way that's like really obvious, everyone's gonna get so upset. They're gonna be like snapped out of it instantly, and they're gonna be like raging against it. Use it just a little bit, nobody will fucking care. Nobody will even get mad. People who get mad will just be like the one person who noticed. Is this fucking... Is my fucking stream blocked? Is my fucking stream blocked? I guess not. It says it is. AI art won't replace jobs. I mean, it will. It's just like... That's alright, I think. It'll replace jobs from the people who fucking suck. It's like, why would you even want to go work for them after all this shit? With like them making plans to replace artists. They should use AI to replace CEOs. Well, we don't need CEOs at all. That would just be a waste of an AI if we did that. Like, do we even need CEOs for anything? Thank you, Bjork. AI can't cook food? Well, not yet. It actually can. I've seen there was like some robots making burgers, making omelets and shit. It'll either help your job or you learn from it. What? If CEOs are gone, delightfully devilish indeed. Well, yeah, like what do you need CEOs for? Like, I don't know, in a general sense, like maybe not nowadays, but like in the history of the universe, what was like the use for the CEO? It was like you probably had to have lots of like you know, like the executive pitching ideas to the board or something. So like the executive or executives mediate between the stockholders and the company, right? So like the board is made up of stockholders, and then like, you know, the executive isn't making them happy, then they'll, you know, will be mad. The company will suffer. I don't know. Maybe at one point CEOs having a good relationship with their company was a big deal. I mean, I guess they were never on the same level. They were always out on golf courses with other CEOs making deals. Not but you know, I guess that's an important job too for everybody else's job. He doesn't necessarily have to be your best friend to be a CEO. You know, the your best friend CEO thing, that's like, you know, complete bullshit. But yeah, like, if they're not going to golf courses to make important billion-dollar deals, then they're just going to waste everybody's time. It doesn't seem like you actually even need a very intelligent CEO to get shit done and to make profit. It feels like you can kind of just like, without any real direction, you could just kind of churn out money. It's like, think about Disney. They got rid of Iger, and then they just got him back. They got the guy. Got rid of the guy, and then they got the guy. Luigi was a long time outcry towards CEOs. Well, I mean, yeah, it's like there's nothing going on in this guy's head except how can I make more money? So like, you know, you pick up an industry that's just like completely abhorrent, like healthcare. It's abhorrent because we're talking about people's healthcare. We're talking about their lives. You should never be making profit off of that. I mean, obviously you should be making money off of whatever you consider to be your job, whatever you think is a worthy contribution to society. You should make money off of it. But like, profit, endless profit, squeezing profit out of people and making everyone sicker and poorer in the process. At that point, you have to be like, for what? What are you even using it for? Are you like, do you even have a good reason to make all that money? I mean, very likely there's no fucking plan. It's not like you're some sort of visionary. You're just some asshole who wanted money. That doesn't make you interesting. Maybe if you deserved to have $50 million, you wouldn't be dead. Like $50 million. Nobody deserves that kind of money. But I can imagine a CEO who has the balls to use that kind of money and to spend it and to really like risk it, as opposed to just like, you know, being like that fucking asshole whose job was just like the easiest thing in the world. All he did was defraud other people. He was in trouble for fraud, and then he got shot, which is what he really deserved. Yeah, I think what's happened is CEOs do less and less, but the company is more and more efficient. So it feels like it feels ridiculous to even try to justify somebody having that much money because of, you know, how little they probably do. I'm sure the company goes on without him. Or, you know, maybe he was responsible for squeezing more money out of people and personally deserves the blame. Although I don't know anything about that. I assumed he's just like another cog in the machine of a grand machine. This guy who got shot was just another of like 300 other assholes who work at the same company and don't give a shit about where money comes from, but would love to have it. You should care about where money comes from. That's what I would say about all this. Like, you know, not that it's okay to shoot people, but that you should absolutely be wary of where your money comes from, because if you make $50 million off of people dying, then it could come back to you in very unexpected ways. Is, you know, pretty much all capitalism is based upon like exploiting people for profit. So there's not really that many good ways of making money. It's mostly just like exploiting. It's like, what about me? I'm like not making enough money to live. I just screamed earlier because I saw a bill, and it's like, man, like what am I supposed to fucking do? Put up feet pics? It's like, how much more can you scrape out of me before it's just, you can't get any more? It's like people are being pushed to the edge. Bandus to buy crundus. What happened to Audrey and Victor's father? Is he dead? Divorced? You know, don't ask the creator what happened and expect an interesting story, because if there's an interesting story, I'll make it into a story. But if you're just asking me in passing, I feel like it's not going to be that. It's not going to be interesting, even if I tell you everything that I've thought of for it. I don't know. Some of that stuff is just like an egg. Wanna just like some of it might not hatch. You know, an egg that might not even hatch. I don't have a proper story for my OC's parents fully. Well, that's because characters' parents are made up. Unless it's like The Simpsons, right? Where the parents were designed at the same time as the kids. It's like if it's a show about a kid, right? Like Dennis the Menace or something. It's like they definitely designed him first, right? And then the parents are based on his design, because the parents are backstory. It's like, you know, some you can tell which were designed first and which one were designed later. Are we made up? Well, no, I mean, you know, in real life, it works where, like, your parents came before you. But in cartoons, it's the opposite. Your parents are based off of you. Oh, I think I'm pretty tired. Let me end the stream in a few minutes. Let me just draw one more drawing of this simple-faced teen. What was his name? Sweaty voice teen? Oh, squeaky voice teen. Oh, sorry, my voice is all sweaty today. Pimple voiced teen. The parents are based off of you. That's deep if you think too much about it. Well, it's, you know, it actually makes sense if we're talking about a cartoon. Let's see. What can we talk about before the stream ends? So, like, you know, Audrey and Victor are the main characters. Their mom might as well not exist because she is merely backstory. The dad, merely backstory. And those backstories can change. If I feel like it, those backstories can change. But what I will not change is Audrey and Victor and their personalities. I can change their designs. But I could even change, like, you know, their mood slightly. But what I can't change, or what I won't change, is how they relate to each other thematically. And it's like, it's really simple. It's just a optimist and a pessimist having a struggle. You know, at some point when writing literally Hitler, I must have realized, like, pretty much every cartoon has this exact formula. You know, I don't think that cartoons necessarily need to be that original to be good. there's so many, like, you know, like a optimist and pessimist, or like a happy guy and a sad guy. It's everywhere. It is simply everywhere. There's a lot of cartoons like that. Happy-go-lucky and stuffy. You know, there's sitcoms like that. It's not like everyone's a completely unoriginal fool or anything. It's not like everyone sucks or anything. It's because formulas are like, they're like machinery, they're like technology. If they work, then they work great. Yeah, like formulas and even like rigid formulas are not necessarily bad. It's just that if you rely on formulas too much, you could be replaced by AI. It'll just be too easy for AI to replace you if you rely too much on, like, you know, the formulas that it can recognize and replicate. You know, I'm talking about, like, if we're talking about, you know, what's a fucking thing? Like, this is like something about the Incredible Hulk. I don't know. I always think of the Hulk for some reason. Maybe because I think the CG in Hulk movies sucks, and AI could be the first time we can realize a Hulk movie that looks like he's really turning into a guy. But anyway, like, you know, I think about that, like, there's gonna be some Hulk movie that, like, is made with AI, and it's you know, it's not like really good or really bad. It's just like any other superhero movie you might have seen. But like, I'm imagining it because it's like Disney wants to make these movies efficiently, for one thing, and they're also made based on formulas, new and old, you know, art styles, new and old, that they just like don't give a shit. They'll feed into an AI and have it spit something out and use that. I mean, you know, I've had thoughts about how it could be used as a rendering engine, like an AI model, but you know, it also just like makes shit up. So like, comes up with weird crap that you didn't intend, even when you try to guide it with your own art. Alright, I think that's all for now. These main drawings. And that's basically all the main drawings for the whole cartoon. The rest is like drawing expressions and mouth positions and backgrounds.
Walking through the door to the subterranean shore, I follow the peacocks as they sing like
Comic book guy looks too sympathetic here. He should be more judgmental. Anyway, I'm tired. Maybe I'll do another stream tomorrow. Work on this some more. Alright, well, thanks for coming.